Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 10, text number 10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam nadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I gave the understanding by which they can come to me. So, yet another verse from the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. So, in the previous two verses, Krishna explained that how Krishna is the source of everything, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, and also he explained about that how devotees are always engaged in talking and discussing about him, and then they derive so much of satisfaction and the pleasure. Now, Krishna explains. So, previously he explained what devotee does. Now, he explains what Krishna does for the devotees. Which devotees? Tesham, those who are satatayuktanam, those who are constantly engaged. Engaged in what? Which has been described in the previous verse. Kathayantasya mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha bodhyantasya parasparam. So those who are constantly engaged like that, mam nityam kathayantasya, to those people, those who are satatayuktanam, constantly engaged, and also bhajatam priti purvakam. Bhaj means the devotional service. So those who are constantly engaged in devotional service, and how they are doing devotional service, not grudgingly, that somebody is forcing them or they are obliged to do, but priti purvakam. So the similar expression we find even in the Bhagavatam also. Save pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokchaje ahetuki apratihata. So bhakti should be done like this. Bhakti has the two features which has been recommended. Bhakti should be done ahetuki. Ahetuki means there should not be any hetu. There should not be any reason. A reason in the sense like, oh, I want this, that is why I want to do bhakti. It is just out of love, out of pure devotion. Somebody wants to do bhakti, that is ahetuki bhakti. And then apratihata, it is consistent. So this is how the bhakti should be done. Devotional service should be rendered purity in intention and consistency in action. So this is what Krishna is saying here also. Uh, Satatayuktanam, which is consistently apratihata, and bhajatam priti purvakam, love and devotion, ahetuki, with no other intention, but only intention is to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. So when devotees are engaged like this, then what Krishna does for them? Krishna is saying, Dadami buddhi yogam tam to those people, Dadami buddhi yogam. I give buddhi yoga, buddhi. I give them the intelligence. What kind of intelligence? Krishna is giving intelligence to everyone, whether somebody is a devotee or not a devotee. People are intelligent, even animals are also intelligent. There might be differences in their intelligence or level of their understanding, but intelligence is given to everyone. Like even an animal, he has to find his food, arrange eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So that intelligence is given to an animal also, to the human being, those who want to make money, those who want to do sense gratification. Krishna is giving intelligence to them also. And what this intelligence is referred to is the intelligence which helps one to yen mam upyantite, the intelligence which helps them to come closer to me, come to me. That is the kind of intelligence which is only given to those who are satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Otherwise, generic intelligence is given to everyone as per the arrangement of law of karma, which is working under the supervision of Krishna. So everybody gets their quota of their own intelligence. But this is very specific, special intelligence, which is only given to those who are constantly engaged in devotional service and then with love. To them, Krishna is saying, I give them then the intelligence by which they will come to me. So this is this verse. So this is Krishna's reciprocation. Those who are engaged, uh, bhajatam priti purvakam, with love and devotion, not grudgingly, and they want to give everything to Krishna. To them, Krishna gives dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upyantide. So this buddhi yoga has been discussed even in one of the previous verses in the second chapter. Eshate vihita sanke buddhi yogam tu imam shunu. So Krishna, in the second chapter, after explaining the Atma Gyan, the knowledge about the body and the soul, then Krishna switches the subject and he says, okay, now Sankhya, I spoke about the Sankhya. Now, Buddhi Yogam tu imam shunu. Now you listen the Buddhi Yoga. But if you carefully note, when Krishna explains in the second chapter about Buddhi Yoga, Krishna is not yet introduced at that point about himself. So the meaning of Buddhi Yoga was slightly different there than what he's talking here. So there, Krishna was explaining the Buddhi Yoga. The meaning was that now you understood this knowledge of the body and the soul. So with this knowledge, you do the yoga and you connect with the higher spiritual reality. You understand you are not the body, you are the soul, and now you connect your soul with some higher spiritual reality. But he has not explained that what is that highest spiritual reality in the second chapter. But here now Krishna very clearly explains that connection is with me. I'll give you that buddhi by which you come closer to me. So Krishna is saying this is what is the highest buddhi yoga. This is the buddhi yoga. This is the highest level, highest type of intelligence by which you can do the yoga. If the buddhi, the intelligence, is not helping one to do this yoga, yoga means the connection with the Supreme Lord, then that is not the real buddhi. Right? And this verse is also kind of a slap to the Mayavadis. The Mayavadis, their interpretation, their understanding is that ultimately, with all this knowledge, you read the scriptures, analyze, and with all knowledge, ultimately you have to go and merge into Brahman. But now Krishna is saying, no, with the buddhi, with all this knowledge, use your intelligence, acquire the knowledge, read the scriptures. By using this intelligence, I am giving that intelligence by which you will come to me. Krishna is not saying that you will go to Brahman, but he is saying you will come back to me. So this is the understanding here. So let us understand now a few things. Krishna gives the intelligence. And what kind of intelligence? Based on the individual, what he wants. So all these Mayavadis, they want to merge into Brahman. So Krishna give them that kind of intelligence. As Krishna already confirmed, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam bhajamyaham. So what do you want? Accordingly, I reciprocate. So Mayavadi want to go and merge into Brahman. So Krishna will guide them accordingly. The karmis, they want to do sense gratification. Krishna would give them that kind of intelligence. For the devotee who wants to engage in the service of Krishna, then Krishna give them that intelligence by which they come close to Krishna. Finally, they reach to Krishna. So Prabhupada explains in his purport, Buddhi Yogam itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. See, this is highest intelligence. People are smart, people are intelligent. We see so many people, super smart. But if they are not engaged in Krishna consciousness, their intelligence is not getting them closer to Krishna, then that kind of intelligence is condemned. That is not the highest intelligence. Prabhupada is saying the highest intelligence is action in Krishna consciousness. You are following Krishna's instructions, serving Krishna under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. This is highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence, and yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, one takes fully to Krishna consciousness. In devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yogam. In other words, Buddhi Yogam is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. So, this is how Prabhupada explains. Buddhi Yoga means the process by which one gets out of this entanglement of this material world. So this is the real buddhi. And that buddhi will come from Krishna when a devotee engages himself in Priti Purvakam, Satatayuktanam bhajatam. Then Krishna will give that intelligence that how you can come out from this bondage of this material world. So this is how we understand this Buddhi Yoga, and this Buddhi Yoga comes from Krishna when we are engaged in devotional service. Now question comes, okay, we are engaged in devotional service, we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, we are trying to follow the instructions of uh, you know Krishna's devotee, the Krishna's representative, Srila Prabhupada. So how do we understand that whatever I'm doing and that guidance or that intelligence is coming from Krishna? There might be some possibility. There are different voices within. How do I understand this is Krishna's voice or this is my voice? This is my mind or my intelligence, or Krishna is trying to give me some intelligence. So how do I understand that? Right. So we have to very carefully understand that yes, that is true, that we have so many voices within. We have some kind of conditioning, we have a lot of impressions, a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, a lot of conceptions. And it might be your mind's idea. And somebody might think that, oh, Krishna is guiding me to do this particular thing. So, how do we understand that this guidance or this intelligence, this idea is whether it is coming from Krishna or it is coming from my mind? You know, so it is very difficult to judge. So, to avoid misjudgment, we have to train ourselves. And how do we train ourselves? To hear from Krishna, first we have to hear about Krishna. This is important point. When we sufficiently hear about Krishna through a bona fide representative of Krishna, the bona fide spiritual master, and that is how we get trained to understand Krishna's guidance, Krishna's direction. Otherwise, most probably it will be our mind's idea, not Krishna's idea. If we are not sufficiently heard about Krishna from the Guru and not properly trained, then it will be mostly our mind chatter, which we take as Krishna's guidance and will be cheated again. Right. So we have to train ourselves. So how to train now? How do we make sure that whatever this guidance is coming or idea is coming, it is coming from Krishna? So then Prabhupada explains that Krishna's actual voice is heard from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra at our stage. When we come to a level of pure devotional service, when we become the pure devotee, then we can directly hear Krishna's voice who is sitting in our heart as Paramatma. But until we reach that stage of pure devotion, we should not we should not believe that whatever idea is coming, it is Krishna's idea. You cannot say for sure. Krishna, yes, give the intelligence, but how Krishna gives the intelligence? He gives the intelligence through Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So we have to hear from the Guru what the Guru says, because the spiritual master is Krishna's mercy representation. And when Guru comes, he gives the guidance. This is how we take the guidance. This is how we receive Krishna's intelligence. Right? Prabhupada explains in one of the purport in the Bhagavatam, Krishna does not become the direct spiritual master unless one is fully trained by his representative spiritual master. Right? They're like the Mayavadis. They accept the Guru, and at one stage they say, you don't need any further, you don't need the Guru. Anymore, you don't need Guru. So you just, kick the Guru out. But that is not the best Vaishnava philosophy. Prabhupada is saying, Krishna does not become the direct spiritual master unless one is fully trained by his representative spiritual master. Therefore, as we have already discussed, the Lord's representative spiritual master should not be considered as an ordinary human being. The representative spiritual master never gives any false knowledge to his disciple, but only perfect knowledge. Thus, he is the representative of Krishna. Krishna helps as the Guru or spiritual master from within and from without. From without, he helps the devotee as his representative, and from within, he talks personally with the pure devotee. and gives him instructions by which he may return home back to Godhead. See, for a pure devotee, Krishna will give intelligence from within. But for people like us, all sadhakas, conditioned soul, Krishna gives the intelligence through his representative spiritual master. So this is how we receive Krishna's intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam dham. So we should not think, oh no, Krishna is telling me from the heart, do this, do that. Yes, Krishna can tell, but we should also check whether we are qualified to receive Krishna's guidance as it is. We have to make sure that our contaminated intelligence or contaminated ideas are not mixed and we pose that, oh no, Krishna is guiding me to do this. So the safe path is take guidance from the Guru. Guru's guidance might be sometimes very heavy to follow, and we may not like to do that at conditioned stage. We might feel it very austere. And then you say, oh no, Krishna is telling me to do this. It may not be Krishna, it may be our own mind, which is trying to cheat you. So we should hear Guru's instruction, which is heavy. It might be very austere, but still we should follow. And by following Guru's instruction, gradually we'll become pure. And when we come to that level of pure devotion, then we can hear Krishna's voice directly from the heart. One time, one reporter was talking to Srila Prabhupada. So he asked this question, uh, does God is sitting in your heart? Srila Prabhupada says, yes, God is sitting in everyone's heart. Then this reporter asks, uh, do you, does the God speak to you? Do you hear his voice? Prabhupada says, yes. And then this reporter couldn't follow. So then he asks, does God speak to you? How does he speak? So Prabhupada explains, God is sitting in my heart and he directly speaks to me. I hear his voice. So it was something beyond his comprehension. So he couldn't follow and he seems like a little confused. He couldn't appreciate that idea. So then one of the disciple, he interjected and he says, uh, Prabhupada means, you know, he speaks through the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and, through the Guru and like that. And then Prabhupada immediately, objected and Prabhupada says, no, Krishna directly speaks to me. He directly talked to me, right? So for a pure devotee, Krishna directly talks. So whatever Prabhupada is doing, talking, it is directly he is receiving that intelligence, that guidance from Krishna. And that is what, because Prabhupada is Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. He is constantly engaged 24 hours in serving Krishna with so much love and devotion. And that is how Dadami Buddhi Yogam Dham. He is receiving that intelligence from Krishna. So Krishna is ready to give that intelligence to everyone. But again, Prabhupada gives another example. A teacher gives guidance to the student according to the capability of the student. So when the teacher tells a student something and that the student follows, then teacher is willing to give even further instruction, further guidance. But the student, after receiving the instruction from the teacher, he doesn't follow, then this teacher will also not be uh, encouraged to give further instruction, right? He hold himself. So in the same way, Krishna is sitting in our heart. When some guidance comes through the Guru and we start to follow, then more and more guidance will come, more and more intelligence will come. But if he doesn't follow what we have received, then Krishna says, what is the point of giving him further guidance? Then we stop Krishna to give us the intelligence. So Lord gives the direction differently to different individuals. Now you see the demons, they challenge the authority of Krishna. They doesn't accept him. He doesn't accept his supremacy. And they want to deny Krishna's existence. They want to kill God. Then Krishna gives them that kind of intelligence. This atheistic people, the Mayavadis, they want to deny Krishna's personal form. Krishna gives them that kind of intelligence. But a devotee, he wants to serve God in his personal association. He wants to see Krishna face to face. Then Krishna gives them the intelligence by which they can go to Krishna and engage with Krishna. Right? So this is how we understand. So mental speculation, one cannot understand. Uh, See, in one place, Prabhupada explains very nicely this Gyanis, the process is that mental speculation. So it is possible for these Gyanis, the Mayavadis, the intellectuals, philosophers, it is possible to understand that I am not the body, I am the soul. Right? That much people can understand if they're intelligent and they're reading the scriptures. But unless one engages in devotional service, the real purpose of life is never fulfilled. And the real purpose of life is to go back home, back to Godhead, and live with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Play with the Lord, dance with the Lord, eat with the Lord. Right? This is the real goal. So these are the different items of Ananda, the spiritual happiness in spiritual variegatedness. So even though one may come to the platform of Brahma Bhuta and understand his spiritual identity by speculative knowledge that I am not the body, I am the soul, but one cannot enjoy this spiritual life without understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that happens by engaging in devotional service. And then we receive the instruction, the intelligence from Krishna, and then we can go back home, back to Godhead. So this devotional service is the key, and devotional service, which is a hetuki, apratihata, satat yuktanam vajatam purvakam, and then Krishna gives the intelligence. This is confirmed by Ramananda Rai also in conversation with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking a lot of questions from Ramananda Rai about a spiritual subject matter, and he was answering at one point, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy, very pleased because he was giving the right answers. The goal of life is to serve Radha Krishna. Goal of life to chant the holy name of the Lord, like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very pleased and he started appreciating Ramananda Rai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He is appreciating Ramananda Rai that so nicely you are guiding me, you are speaking, and it is giving so much joy to my heart. And in response to that, Ramananda Rai says this verse. मोरा मुखे वक्ता तुमी होय श्रोता अत्यंत रहस्य सुना sadhane rakatha. So Ramananda Rai says, although you are speaking through my mouth and at the same time you are listening, this is very mysterious. Anyway, kindly hear the explanation by which the goal can be attained. So it seems like Ramananda Rai is speaking and guiding, telling him the what to do and not to do. But Ramananda said, yes, I might be speaking, you, but actually it is you speaking. Mora mukhe vakta tumi. It is through my mouth. Actually, you are speaking. So there is a very important point that Prabhupada makes here that one should never hear about the scriptures from a non-devotee. Vaishnavad mukodvirinam putam harikatamritam shamanam neva kartavyam sarpochista yadabaha. It is very, very poisonous to hear from a non-devotee. But one should hear from a devotee because a Vaishnava is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His talks are spiritually potent. So when a devotee who surrendered fully, when he speaks, his talks are spiritually potent. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam ye namam upayandite. So when a pure Vaishnava speaks, he speaks perfectly. How is this? His speech is managed by Krishna himself from within the heart. Srila Ramananda Rai accept this benediction from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, he admits that whatever he was speaking was not derived from his own intelligence. Rather, everything was coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See, when a pure devotee it is spoken by the Lord Himself directly. Because Lord is sitting in everyone's heart. Sarvashachaham hirdi sannivisto matta smrtir jnanam apohanam cha. So knowledge, remembrance, everything comes from Krishna. So Krishna speaks through a devotee. Non-devotee wants to ask the Supreme Lord for sense gratification. Therefore, non-devotee comes under the influence of Maya, the illusory energy. A devotee, however, is directed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and comes under the influence of Yoga Maya, Consequently, there is a gulf of difference between statement made by a devotee and those made by a non-devotee. So one should always hear from a devotee who is engaged in bhajatam priti purvakam satata yuktanam. Then whatever he speaks, it is all managed by Krishna directly. Krishna is speaking. And when we hear from such a devotee, and that is the intelligence, we think, we understand. Oh, this is the intelligence, this is the guidance directly coming from Krishna. So in the beginning, Brahmaji gave that intelligence to Krishna gave that intelligence to Brahmaji also. Brahmaji was engaged in doing that austerity. And then, by the grace of the Lord, who instructed him in the heart, Tena Brahma Hridayadikavaye, and then Brahma could create a huge universe. So this is the secret for a devotee's success. Prabhupada explains, if the devotee follows the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entity, even though an insignificant creature, can perform the most difficult task by the Lord's grace. This is very, very important. We have no power, no intelligence, but if we engage nicely, sincerely under the guidance of one of our spiritual master, Satatayuktanam Ajadam Priti Purvakam, then Krishna will give us the intelligence by which an insignificant creature can perform the most difficult task. See, even the Brahmaji is also a Jiva Tattva, he is not some Vishnu Tattva, but he could do this task of the creation because he was engaged in the service and received the instruction from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So an empowered devotee sees and feels himself to be the lowest of men. He knows that whatever he does is due to the inspiration given by the Lord in the heart. Right. Even the Rupa Goswami spoke to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him all the intelligence. Directly Lord is giving. Lord is ready to give to everyone, but one has to qualify himself, and that qualification is Satata Yukta. I'm 24 hours engaged in the loving devotional service. Then all this intelligence will come. So this intelligence does not depend on material position. It doesn't matter. Service is not dependent on material considerations. Rupa Goswami was a great minister before he got in touch with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was a householder. He was not even a sannyasi or brahmachari something, and he was associating with all the malachas and the Yavnas, all low grade people. But because he was always eager to serve, then he became a qualified recipient for the Lord's mercy. A sincere devotee can therefore be empowered by the Lord regardless of his situation. So this is the verse Krishna is saying, if you are engaged in the devotional service, dadami buddhi yogam dam. I'll give you the intelligence by which you will come close to me. You will come to me. And this is Krishna's reciprocation. So we'll stop here. Anybody's any quick question or any comment, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay, let's stop here. Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.